Get it done today, if not now, then it would have had to
That
wait.
doesn't make sense.
Well, you want the store today, or you want it next week?
I want it so you can find stuff.
All right, you guys ready? If you don't want to be here, the door's right there. Well, we're ready to start. All right? I'm going to give you a timeline of what occurred, and then I'll make some other statements. And the reason you're here, not sure if you know exactly what. On 3/18 at 4:55 a.m., the Peoria Police Department initiated a traffic stop on a black 2022 Honda Ridgeline in the 1900 block of West Star. The vehicle fled from officers for several blocks northbound on Western Avenue. The vehicle then pulled into the parking lot of 614 Northwestern and stopped. The officer made contact with the vehicle and ordered the driver and sole occupant, identified as Brian R. Childers, born in '79, out of the vehicle. He refused to comply, and he pointed a handgun at close proximity to the officer before fleeing again in the vehicle. Officers lost sight of the vehicle at that time. No gunfire was exchanged during this incident. On 3/18 at 10:25 p.m., our officers located Childers in the parking lot of the Paradise Hotel. He refused again to comply with officers' orders for several minutes while being ordered to the ground at gunpoint. Childers was eventually placed under arrest and was found to be armed with the same handgun that he pointed at the officer during the earlier incident. The handgun was loaded and was being carried on his person. He was also in possession of a small amount of methamphetamines and several $1,000s cash at the time of his arrest. There was also a small amount of methamphetamines located in the hotel room where he was staying the past few days. On 3/19, that's yesterday, right? At 6:24 p.m., he was released from the Peoria County Jail by court order with a GPS ankle monitor. And that's why we're standing here today. It is beyond belief and beyond me how our judges can release somebody who has pointed a gun at one of my officers, right? What is the message that we're sending to our community when somebody can point a gun, not just at somebody in the community, but let alone a police officer in this community who is tasked with keeping this community safe? The officers you see behind me, they come in here every day to work hard to keep this community safe. And I am completely disappointed in the decision that was made to release Mr. Childers on the GPS ankle monitor. Highly disappointed, right? And I'm done just standing here and letting this continue to happen, where people get arrested and they get released, right? What is the message that is being sent to our police officers? I have 218 police officers who come here every day, again, to work hard. Do you want our officers to sit back and not do anything? I don't think so. I don't want that. You don't want that. The citizens of the city don't want that. What are you telling our community members? That's the question that I think everybody needs to ask the judges. And what is the standard? What is the standard to detain somebody? Because just February 2nd of this year, one of our local judges was threatened via a phone call that was intercepted from the jail, from the Peoria County Jail, and this person made a threat about one of our judges. This person is unarmed. This person is in custody already, yet he's detained. I have a person who points a gun in very close proximity to one of my officers, and we release him on a GPS. What is the standard? That's what I want to know. What is the standard? I'm upset. If I sound upset, it's because I am upset. The community deserves better. Our police department deserves better. Again, I'm very proud of the men and women in this police department. They could stop. They could say, I'm not stopping no more cars. I'm not doing that. But I will tell you, I listened to the radio last night. I've listened to the radio today. Our officers have not stopped. They continue to do the job that our citizens have requested of them to keep Peoria safe. And I know and I trust that they'll continue to do that. But this has to stop. This has to stop. We are no longer going to take the blame at the police department for people that are being released. We are not releasing them. This is inappropriate, and it has to stop. We have an unaccountable party here, our judges. I'll take some questions.
You are upset at the judge, obviously, and you feel that it's not fair, but at the hearing, the judge listed a bunch of things, and the state got its chance to make its case for how to hold him. This is how the new law works. What would you propose be done when the law was followed the way it is supposed to be done?
Well, I don't know if it was followed the way it should be done, right? State's attorney is appealing that judge's decision as we speak. You got a question?
I think he kind of asked that.
Okay. I'll take 2 more questions. No more questions?
Yeah, okay. In terms of the appeals, is there other evidence of what he did? First of all, why did you guys try to stop him in the first place?
At this point, I think why he was being stopped at this point becomes irrelevant at the time where somebody points a gun. The question is here, he points, or the statement is, he points a gun at one of my officers, right? That's what I'm concerned with. You don't have the right, and you can't point a gun at our officers. I want people in the community to understand that as well. This guy may have gotten off on the GPS, but we're not going to tolerate anybody pointing a gun at anybody in our community, let alone somebody pointing a gun at one of my officers. Your question.
It sounds like you have issues with the judges, but you also have an issue with the cashless bail system. Is that correct?
Well, I don't want to get off on some other topic. Right now, the topic at hand is the issue of a subject being released after they pointed a gun. Yet, just a month ago, we had somebody that makes a threat on a phone from a jail, unarmed, on a local judge, and they're detained. What is the standard? There is none. Let's make things equal, right? Our community wants equality. We want some equality. Give us a standard, right? There wasn't no standard here. There's no equality, right? One person gets one thing and somebody else gets another. I will tell you what, I'm going to defend our officers. Every day, they go out, they put this uniform on, missing holidays, missing family events, all the things that police officers deal with, the stress of this job, understaffed, a lot of calls, and yet they continue to go out. The officer did not have to make that traffic stop that night. Officer could have sat somewhere. Officer could have been hanging out in the station, could have been doing whatever. No, he was out here patrolling the streets of Peoria while everybody else is sleeping, right? Making sure that you're safe, that our community is safe, that you can get up in the morning and live your life safely. Yet, he gets a gun pointed at him, and the guy gets released. Thank you. I'm not taking any further questions.